Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Prevetta, Pageant Live. Welcome. I have an amazing woman here, Miss Oregon USA 2020, that I'm getting ready to interview. I have to tell you, I've been interviewing the Northwest girls all day long, as a matter of fact, or women, young women and stuff. And I have found it very refreshing. They are a breath of fresh air, very accomplished. And I have to tell you, it's been my honor to be able to do this. But let me introduce you to Katerina Villegas. She taught me how to say that. So go ahead, Katerina. Say it. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. I am Katerina Villegas, Miss Oregon USA 2020.
So I have, you and I've had a conversation a little bit about your background and things like that. Tell everybody, what is now your career path that you are working towards to be a clinical psychologist for the military? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I have a father who served in the Navy, and my grandfather was drafted into the Army. And I figured there's just my brother and me left. If anyone's going to serve, who's it going to be? Probably me if I want to do that. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to be a military psychologist because of my family background. Wanting to serve in the military for me comes from wanting to fix something that I think is a big issue. And something I think is a big issue is individuals in service who are not seeking treatment, whether it's for issues of PTSD or whatever emotional trauma they might have going on. Sometimes it's from going overseas, and sometimes it's just from the training itself. And I've seen the effects of PTSD and the way it affected my own family when I would see the way my grandfather was a little withdrawn from the way he spent time with his children, or even just little nerves and little tics and little things that members of my family have had. And what happens when individuals don't seek treatment while they are in the service? They turn to forms of self-medicating. And why wouldn't an individual want to seek treatment? Well, if you're someone in the military and you say, I have this problem, you could get discharged. You could lose your job. And that's something that individuals don't want to do. So there's a big stigma when it comes to handling issues of mental health in the military specifically. And that's why I really wanted to get involved, to be able to make a difference there so that we don't have individuals turning to methods of self-medicating that are not just going to hurt themselves, but are going to hurt members of their family as well.
Yeah, and you've hit a lot of things. I'm retired military, and it's a very arduous job. You're away from your family for long periods of time. You work 14, 16 hours a day. You deploy, you come home, and then you come back, and it's like everybody's like, well, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Because you've been gone, right, and the mother's been back taking care of everything. So, I mean, it's a necessary job, but I agree. It's always you're having to cope and retrain and reacclimate yourself to your family and your wife and all those different things. So, I mean, I appreciate you recognizing that. So one thing else, she's not just beautiful, and she's also a very accomplished. She's also a professional singer and songwriter. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
So I have two songs that just so happened to make the Billboard chart for dance club songs within the last 2 years or so. And I released them through my own record label called Beauty Queen Records. And that has been quite the ride. It's been really, really exciting, but I always knew that I didn't want to be just a singer, just a performer. I wanted to be educated as well. So that's kind of why I've got these two sides to me, music and doctoral studies, to be able to have both things, because I think that it's so important to have hobbies and to have things that we love. And I was really thrilled and really blessed to be able to find success in one of my hobbies. So I do a lot of writing, songwriting, and paper writing, and I split my time evenly between the two.
It's not uncommon when someone is very heavy in the sciences and things like that, where they have the creative outlet, which is the artistic side. So you're really using both sides of your brain. So you are using your whole brain, if you will, you know what I'm saying, instead of just one side.
I'm doing my best.
You did a good job. So I think so. So you're going to continue doing that, and tell us about the during the pandemic that you put together an actual virtual benefit concert supporting Feeding America.
I did, and that was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I think that this year we faced a lot of division, a lot of depression and sadness and just cooped up feelings. And I thought, well, what way can I reach people in a fun, light, and entertaining way? How can we further connect and for a good cause? And so I remember I called my director, Maureen Francisco, one day, and I said, hey, I have this crazy idea. I want to do this, and I need it done in 6 days. And she just said, okay, yeah, great. Like, I will help you in whatever way I can. And so in 6 days, I planned a virtual benefit concert. I had Justin Kawika Young, Rob Mays, J.O., Ruthie Kraft, who was on American Idol, and just several amazing talents and acts who came out. Well, when I say came out, they were on their computer screens, and they performed a song for us. They shared their talent with us, and we were able to really talk about how important it is to be grateful for everything that we have. If we have a roof over our heads during this time of a pandemic, that's a reason to be grateful. If we have food in our refrigerator and in our pantries, a reason to be grateful, and just really recognize that and give back to those who are in need during this time. So it was so much fun to be able to connect with such amazing artists from all over the country. I don't know how I would have pulled this off if there wasn't a pandemic and we couldn't do it from the comfort of our own living rooms. But it was just a great way to connect with our audience, and I think bring them joy and excitement for one night.
You know, and you say that, and you're right. We should be thankful many a times, even though we're all feeling the pinch, some much more than others. Mm. But you're right, to look and be appreciative of what we do have. But with that being said, a roof over the head, let's discuss your work as a global ambassador when you went on the 2020 CARES Tour.
Going on the 2020 CARES Tour in Uganda opened my eyes. Well, first, let me start with, I am so appreciative of indoor plumbing. I mean, yes, they have things that flush, but when I say things, it's a hole in the ground. Here we have toilets. I was so grateful to see a toilet when I came back to America. That's something that I will never take for granted after seeing holes in the ground in Uganda. But one of the major events that really stood out to me was cleaning in the Katanga slums. I put my boots on, I put my gloves on, and there was trash and needles everywhere, and children everywhere who have been orphaned due to losing their parents to HIV and AIDS. And we were there to teach children something as simple as taking trash and putting it into a trash can. There were mountains of trash just everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I thought, what a way to live. What a way to live. And the most interesting thing about it that I will never forget is actually still seeing joy on these children's faces, as this was just the life that they knew. To us, it's not normal. And to us, it's not healthy. It's not sanitary. It's not okay. But they were still filled with joy. So it makes you think, if you can live in this condition and feel joy, well, when you come back to America, you need to start finding joy in the things that you can, because you have so much more. But we were ultimately there to teach these children about hygiene, and it was really cool to be able to take it wasn't a broom like the type of brooms that we use, but to be able to take things and sweep things up, throw them in the trash, and the kids want to do the same thing. And they were just learning and soaking up everything that we were trying to teach them, just about having good hygiene. And that was one of the big events that we did when we were out there, when I was out there. And I spoke to high school age girls about mental health, and even spent time talking to domestic violence victims and sexual abuse victims. And that was really eye-opening too.
You said something very interesting that I really want to talk to you about. So, but there, and I do not want to judge. My heart goes out because obviously this is a drug problem. We don't have
Right.
toilets, but there's money. There has to be money for drugs. And when you said there was actually needles and so forth, that indicated to me that they're not giving it to people. They have to buy it. And that's really, really, that's just, once again, the drugs is taking the village down, and here these poor children are, alone. So I can't even, I applaud you for doing that. I really, really, really do. I really do. So real quick, let's talk about your children's book. Tell us a little bit about your children's book also in 48 hours. You seem to like all these very quick projects.
I like things to be quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I get bored really, really fast. And so it's constantly like, let's just move on to the next thing. I think that after Miss USA, I had to tell myself, okay, chill, relax, just take a deep breath. It's okay to like sit and do nothing for 24 hours. Like that's actually okay. You can do it. Right. And that's something that it's just, I'm always on to the next thing. But Summer and Autumn's Great Debate is a children's book. Yes. But I've kind of aimed it at parents, because who's going to read the book to the kids if they're really little? Parents are going to. And I really wanted to create a fun story that just tells everyone that it's okay to be different and to have different opinions. We don't have to see things the same way. It doesn't mean that because you have two individuals who think differently, it doesn't make one individual better than the other. I think that we can learn so much from each other if we take the time to just sit and really listen and try to connect versus being stuck in our own ways. And that's what Summer and Autumn's Great Debate is really all about, but with fun stories about painting in the classroom and whose color is better than the other. And I think that the things that kids fight about, we fight about as adults, just on a much larger scale. And I think that sometimes we need to like tone it back down. And the way we would tell our kids, like, it's okay to think differently. You don't have to do things the same way to still love and respect each other. That's kind of the message that I think that sometimes we as adults need to be retaught.
No, I agree. And they listen. They hear us talking to each other, and then they form their opinions. I agree with you 100%. So let's go on to a lighter side. I mean, you're just so accomplished. You're doing so much. You care. You're making such amazing change. So let's talk about, of course, the Miss USA. Tell me about that. That must have been amazing.
It was. I remember being in rehearsals, walking on the stage for the first time and choking back tears because I thought, this is actually happening. Everything that I have done and worked for to get to this point, it's finally here. I am on the Miss USA stage. Who gets to say that? Only 51 girls every single year. That's so right. It was just a dream. It was a dream to be able to walk on there and know that I did it. I got there. But competing at Miss USA also looked very different during a pandemic year. It was very different. We had masks on the entire time. We got COVID tested every other day, and we had to stand 6 feet apart from contestants at all times. So it made getting to know each other a little bit difficult. But we've all gotten so close as a class that we're already planning our reunion for when it's safe so that we can all get together and actually hug each other for real.
That's right. But it had to be. So tell me, when they called your name, what did it feel like? Did you have jitters, or were you just like, I'm here? I mean, it had to be like, you'd worked, years for this.
There was jitters before getting onto the stage. So before getting on, that's when they happened. Once I was there, once I heard my name, it was just, it's go time. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's put everything that we've done just out there, and whatever happens, happens.
That's training. In other words, you allow your training to kick in, because you've worked so hard. That way you really don't, I don't want to say don't think. It's just, it's ingrained. And
you can just enjoy it.
Yes, agree. So
Right.
tell us you're an entertainer and you're also a model. You have done promotional work. You've done some, catalog type work and things like that. So what about the modeling? Do you think that you will continue doing some sort of modeling? I know it's very hard during the pandemic, but will you still continue working in your modeling side of your career?
Absolutely. I probably need to stop eating all the junk food that I've like accumulated over time after Miss USA. So once I get that under control, I will definitely jump back into it.
Oh, you're
But
great.
I would definitely love to continue pursuing it. I have done a lot of promo work with Monster Energy, and that has been something that has been so much fun. Just because in pageants, what do? We connect with people. That's the fun of pageantry, and being able to be a promo model allows me to do the same thing. You go to events and you get to engage and connect with people.
That's correct. And you're a spokesmodel. That's what you are. And you do that very well.
Yes.
That you definitely do that. You do that very well. So that makes perfect sense to me. So may I
Yeah.
ask you how would people follow you just follow you? They want to reach out to you. What is your social media handles?
My social media is at Katerina Villegas. So it's my first and last name, exactly as it's spelled. Super easy to find me, or they can go to my website, www.katerinavillegas.com. If they want to follow more of the pageant stuff, they can follow me at Miss OR USA. That is my Miss Oregon USA Instagram account. And I have new music and new things coming out in the beginning of the new year. So hopefully you'll follow along and see what comes next.
I have a question for you. So why
Yes.
would you recommend a woman, if the women that are watching this and the young women being in the teens, why should they come to the Miss Oregon USA stage? What did that experience provide to you?
If you want to be challenged and you want to experience growth, it is that in itself is enough reason to do it. I mean, I've met probably two of my best friends just competing for Miss Oregon USA, and I feel like I can say that I am a very different person I am today. And I think that I've been a different person after every pageant I've ever competed in, whether it was win or lose. I acquired new skills that I've been able to implement into daily life. Let me tell you, I used to be the girl that was so shy. It was very, very hard for me to even communicate at all. And so when I jumped into my first pageant at 17 years old, I thought, how in the world is it that 14 and 15-year-olds know themselves better than I know myself? And I'm 17, about to go to college, and I felt like I didn't know who I was during that time. And I think that if you're somebody who is trying to figure out what your greater purpose in life is, or you have a lot of questions and you have interest in just engaging in service or whatever it might be, if you feel like you're somebody who's even a little bit stuck and just, I don't know what to do next, pageants really help you find your focus. They help you find that focus and grow in confidence. So I think that there are so many reasons why you should do and compete in Miss Oregon USA, whether it's as a Miss or as a teen. But ultimately, it's if you're somebody who wants to experience growth, then just go for it.
And I think you made a very valid point. I've always believed that, especially after women get out of high school, there's not many platforms for us. And this is a very positive platform. And I have to tell you, anybody that thinks that these women are negative and, you are some of the most accomplished women I have ever met in my life. And we always say, I always say like to a man, like, well, let me put you in high heels for 14 hours and we'll let you walk up on the stage and when a judge asks you a question and you answer it correctly. And also you're hungry, you're tired, you're thirsty, you know what I'm saying? There's so many variables going on, but I want to tell you, this has been wonderful. It's been my honor. I have one question for you. Yeah. If I could grant you one wish, what would you wish for?
One wish. Oh, goodness. That is, I'm gonna get emotional. My one wish that I can just think of right now is just that my grandma would just receive absolute and complete healing. She just suffered an aneurysm and a stroke, and she's kind of been in and out of the hospital. And with COVID and just everything happening, it's just been so hard to be able to see her and spend time with her because she's now at high risk. And so it would be that my grandma would just be completely healed.
Yeah. And it's the holidays, and it's not really a normal holiday. And I'm, you know what, I wish the best for you and your mom or your dad, or, if whoever's parent it is, or both of them for that matter. So listen, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely meeting you.
Oh, thank you. It was so wonderful meeting you as well.